I'm gonna go down and do some work on this radiant system. Since this rain is just unrelenting, we're gonna need the heat real soon. So hopefully within a week or two, I'll have the heating system in here and in the pole barn up and running. And then this rain won't be such a nuisance. All right, so the plan for today is I gotta somehow drain the fluid out of the system, take that off the wall. So what you're looking at is the temporary heating system I set up in the house to keep the house warm over the last winter. And I had actually set this up before I started the channel, so I never really filmed setting this up, but I can kind of explain its components real quick. So first I bought just a pre-made panel, and I just simply hooked it up to an electric Instahot, and I hooked it up to the tubes that I ran through the concrete slab. And I just provided a little auto feed and a drain and a blow-off valve drain, and bam, I had a little heating system that worked pretty well all through last winter. It kept the house warmed, low level warmed and dry. Okay, I got some leaking, so that's good. Okay. I'll start slowly taking this apart and hopefully not make a mess. When we were initially designing this house, we didn't put much effort or thought into the exact plan for the heating system. We knew we wanted radiant for its comfort and efficiency. Once we found out about Warmboard, we decided to go with that product. We kind of assumed we would go with a Daikin Altherma heating system, and then because of that, really I didn't have to worry too much about it, because installing a Daikin Altherma system is not something that you really can do yourself. It really needs to be done by a professional. So I figured we would sub that out. So as time went on, and I had reached out to our local Daikin supplier. We just have one guy in our area because it's a rural area. He kind of blew me off. I probably scared him off because I wanted to do something more than just kind of the standard go. So at some point I realized that I was going to have to do the heating system myself if I wanted a hot all-electric hybrid system that would incorporate solar and the fireplace and a heat pump. Before building this house, I didn't really know anything about radiant heating at all. And so it's been a long process of research and reading textbooks and reading what I can find online. It's proven to be one of the most complicated parts of this whole house build. And I'm going to take you along on the journey of trying to figure out hydronic radiant heating. This will be the first video actually the second video I made for this channel was me getting the system that will replace this system that I'm taking down. And the rest of this video will be me putting this system up into the pole barn and finally getting some heat to that poor pole barn and drying it out. Step one, get some light in here, and you can see the tubes down there. Get some light and make some space in here to work. The plan is to take this system that's set up as a one-zone system and turn it into a two-zone system. I'm going to leave the pumps in the same orientation, and I'm just going to use zone valves to switch between, basically the shop will be one zone and then the rest of the pole barn will be the other zone. So I gotta take this switching relay out and replace it with a, well, I have a 3-zone that came with the house one that I'll use for this one. So I just gotta look and see how this is wired up so that if I use it in the future, I wire it up the same way.
So a quick word about how I'm about to set up this system. When I was setting it up, I didn't realize that these pre-made panels are really made to be used with a boiler that operates by burning a fuel of some sort. In future videos, you'll see how I modify this panel to make it work more efficiently for how I have it set up.
Okay, so just checking. I rechecked this to make sure it's airtight, and I had never actually checked this, the shop loop. Then I threw some air in there and it's holding, so I think we're good. Now I think I might pull these off and put some plywood behind it. And then I gotta figure out how to route all the pipes. I got kind of a layout, and I gotta get all the parts out, make sure I got everything, and figure out what else I'll need. And I'm thinking the Insta-Hot will go here, the water line will run up and go to here, the autofill. And then the 2 zone valves will go here. Oh, and that's the other thing, is the 3 zone is pretty big. I might have to trim this shelf off and put it here. I don't know. Figure this one out.
I'm pretty much just figuring this out as I go and just throwing the stuff up on the wall and drawing some lines and figuring out how many elbows and stuff I need and kind of where I can fit stuff in. And by stuff I mean the 2 zone valves, a couple of T's, and some one-way valves.
Alright, I'm going to take this off. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. After playing with this for a few hours, I realize this is not going to work. And that's because this is made for a system that uses only circulators. And because I'm using zone valves, unfortunately this won't work. So I just ordered the right one, and it says zone valve controller. It looks pretty much identical, but it's just, instead of having 2 connections per zone, there's 4. So that way you can wire in end switches and all that stuff, and then the main pumps will be off of a pump end switch. Anywho, I'm going to do what I can. I'm missing some bolts, so I can't really start mounting this stuff, unfortunately. But I could do stuff like put the blow-off tube in, maybe start routing the water for the autofill. I'll be able to play with this a little bit, maybe play with the electrical some. Need to put an electrical box for these guys. Yeah. Lots of stuff to do. What I did right there was I had drawn lines where the pipe is going to run, and then I drilled holes through the wood, and I pulled it off and pushed bolts through from behind, facing out. And I did this so that I'd have threaded rods basically coming out of the wood where I can then attach pipe clamps that will hold the pipes. So if the store had had the proper parts, I wouldn't have had to put the bolts in from behind. You can actually just put them in from the front. They're like a special bolt. And I end up getting those in the future, but for this, I did it the hard way. So I spent far too much time researching radiant systems for my liking, that's for sure, and reading mechanical engineering textbooks. I probably did enough research that I could have built these systems from scratch, but I also did enough to know that it's really easy to make a mistake while setting these up and have it just not function, or at least not work as you need it to. So I decided to just go ahead and buy the pre-made panels. They save you a lot of time putting stuff together, and a lot of the tight T's are really hard to connect together without special tools. But in the future you'll see that the panels aren't as great as they might seem, but they do the job. But we'll get more into that in future videos. I just remembered that I need to put in a backflow preventer, and I think there was one other thing that goes on here. But it's over on the house, so let me go grab it and I'll put it here and tie it in. Yeah, so I totally forgot about this. So this is the backflow preventer, and this is the actual auto feed. So basically, anytime the pressure drops below, I think it says 12 pounds, then it fills water in. So as evaporation and stuff occur over time and you lose volume, this refills it automatically. That's the autofill. Didn't leave myself much room, so I'll tie this vent in with this, I guess, or it'll be separate. Okay. Okay, so I got the water line comes in, comes down to here. This is a backflow preventer, and the little vent goes outside. And I'll seal this with some caulk. And it comes into this, it says reducing valve. I can't remember the name. It's just a pressure reducing valve. It says it's set at 12 pounds, but I think it's actually closer to 16. I can't remember. But if the pressure in here ever drops below 16, it adds water. Up to 16 psi. Or 12 psi. Whatever it is. I don't know. And this is just the air vent. Yeah. This is all permanently hooked up. I just gotta get the parts for this and a hose that will connect around to that. And the control unit. Oh, and then I gotta run the wires and thermostats. Lots of work with these things. Oh, but next I'm gonna run, I need to supply power to this box. And I can also, I'm gonna tie these together because these are the two pumps that will be tied together in the panel anyway. So I'm just gonna take one wire out, pigtailed off of these guys, and that'll connect into the main box. So this will be what the control box will plug into. This will go to the box will go back to this. That'll get connected and this will get covered. This is all done. Just waiting on parts now, and then I can hook this up, fill it, and see if it works. Okay. So I got all this, and the one thing I don't know so much about these connections here. I had to tighten them almost all the way down. And yeah, I never like doing that, so hopefully they don't leak. And this one was like, this is a compression fitting, and that one I had to tighten down a lot too onto this copper here. But hopefully I'm lucky and all this doesn't leak. But I think I'm going to go ahead and pump all the fluid in and pressurize the system, see how it's holding. Then I'll connect the power to this thing and flip it on and then plug the pumps in and see if it works. And if it does, then I'll move on and put in the controller box and also the thermostats. So I need to run some thermostat wire to the zone valves up to there, and thermostat wire to, well, one thermostat will probably be just right here. Well, maybe not right here. Maybe I'll run it up and over there. And then the other one I'll run over to the shop. So everything should be ready to go. Everything's open. This is now connected. These are open. The zone valves are manually open. I primed my pump yesterday. It's probably still primed. Here goes nothing. That's good. I'm leaking from somewhere. Looks like from this fitting here. That might just be my fill. Let me see. That was down. Yeah, definitely this. It's leaking right from here. This shark bait came with this whole system. I can hear it sucking air in, so I gotta somehow... I almost bought another one of these today, because I had a feeling... Because when I was putting this pipe in, it was giving me a little trouble, but it worked. And that, you know, that didn't leak, but... I don't know why this is deciding to leak. And the way they designed this is going to be... I don't know. It's going to be tough to get off. Guess I should have pressure tested it with air first. There's no water in there, luckily, but... Well, I got to slide back a little bit, and what's better? So it looks like that's pretty close. I got it. God. Nice freaking burr. God. Are you kidding? I'm glad I took that apart and tried to deburr that. It's not going to be very easy. Yeah, I think I can make that work. I just hope I don't mess up the solder when I crimp this. I crimp this here. And then I should be good to go. But I think I'm going to take a little break first. Alright. It's a way better elbow anyways. This is like a sharp 90. That's like a smoother transition. Let me crimp this and then continue filling. Or I guess I should clamp it off a little bit before filling.
When I put that new elbow in, it shifted the pipe over just enough so that two of my pipe clamps no longer can clamp, but it still should be stable enough.
Are you kidding me? Now this shark bite's dripping. I don't see any single leaks anywhere else but the two shark bites. Great. I hope this one doesn't fail too. I don't have another 90, so I think that's going to be that. So I got to order another one. I have to wait for it to come in. I could probably do the same thing here, just somehow loosen everything up, pop it off, put it, press on. Stupid, I should have done that from the start. Okay, definitely time for a break now. I didn't take one last time. Okay, it's a couple days later. I got this today, so time to replace this last shark bite. So this is the reamer that I was looking for the other day. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I spent like half an hour, probably not that long, but spent a good amount of time running around looking for this thing. And instead I had to hand ream the pipes. And so I ordered one of these the other day, and of course they came yesterday. Yesterday I remembered finally where I had put this. It always works out that way. But now I have two of these, but these work so well. So, and the other thing was, I had mentioned that this one was not reamed. This one isn't either, so I bet they didn't ream any of this pipe. They just cut it and built it. Such low craftsmanship. Otherwise, the solders look beautiful, but why did they not ream the pipe? Anyways, I'm going to ream this and try to clean out any shavings. And then, yeah, I might have to trim these pipes a little bit. Okay, that wasn't easy, but I was able to do it. Hopefully I didn't tweak anything in here. And hopefully I don't have any leaks now. Let's see how this goes. I'm just going to plug this in. Should be still primed. Okay, we'll just let this run for a while. But the good news is I don't see any leaks. And this is the other one I was worried about. I don't see anything. Okay, I'm going to start on this electrical while this is just running for a while. So what I do is I shut this off, let the pressure build up to about 20, and pull it off. Let's see how we look. Okay, I think I did it. So I turned it on, the light came on. I think that's gonna work. So I just gotta strip these wires and I can basically just almost plug that in. We'll see. It'll kick on the pumps, which will kick this on and start heating, hopefully. Here goes nothing. We'll see if this works. Aha! We have success. Oh, this is awesome. Okay. Okay, I'm going to turn it up to probably about 100 or 105. Actually, we'll keep it about 90 for now since it's so cold. Maybe 80 was good. Maybe we'll just leave it at 80. Oh, it's getting nice and warm. Oh yeah, now I gotta balance the loops. You just turn these dials until you can see that they're relatively the same. So we got 0.6. There, I got them all, so they're all at 0.6 gallons per minute. And now I'll just let it run for a little while. This temperature gauge is a little chintzy, but it's starting to climb. This slab's probably, 40 degrees right now. It's pretty cold. I'll let it run for a couple hours and start heating up this place. Oh, it's going to be so nice. Let me close some doors around here. So far, everything seems to be running really good. This is warm, and that's warm. That is still ice cold on those returns. Ice cold. Oof. Yeah, this is going great. The pressure is perfect. This one always, you have a little bit higher pressure down here. This is providing some resistance, but I'll put these guys back on. Well, it says it's bringing it up to 80, and I'd buy that. Coming back, it's in the 40s. It's about 47. I bet this thing could handle it. I'll crank it up to... let's go 85. A lot of juice flowing through there right now. It's amazing how much juice goes into such a tiny little receptacle, but... oh! Son of a... I had a feeling about that guy. Oh, no? No, that's good. Okay, this guy's good. Okay, well, it's not leaking much. I'll deal with this later. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll let this heat up tonight. Maybe I'll drop it back down to 80, just so I don't burn you too bad. Grrr. Oh. It's a pain in the butt. Okay, it says it's 48 degrees in here, which is almost exactly what the water coming out of the slab is. So this whole building is 48 degrees right now, so we'll see what it is in a couple hours. Okay, it's been half an hour and it's warmed it up about 2 degrees. So it's going to take a little while. Well, I'm going to go back over to the kiln and keep sheeting the inside walls. I just wiped it off, but there's just that little leak right there. Oh, and it's been a couple days, by the way. Or, well, it's been a day and a half since I turned this thing on. And I've been just monitoring it and kind of playing with it a little bit. At first I had it at 80 degrees for about the first 12 hours, and then I bumped it up to 90, and then up to 105. But everything seemed to be working really well. And other than that one drip, I just now noticed that there's a slight drip right here. So this is good that I didn't fix that one right away, because I wouldn't have noticed this one. So I'm gonna... oh! I see more drips here. Where's this from? Let me find out where that's from. I'm guessing... that's not good. Where the hell is that coming from? It's not much at all. It's dripping right under this. Oh, looks like it might be leaking from this weld. Let's see. Anyways, so the supply temps were just about the same. In fact, this one was maybe a touch higher than this one. And then the return temps were pretty much exactly the same. So the flow is distributing the heat evenly all throughout the floor. So that's good. Looks like they're all about 0.7. So... and I had turned it off last night, and so it was off all last night. The floor is coming back at 61 or so. And by the time it gets up here, it's only 55, really. It's pretty cold. And it's getting it up to about 100. So it's able to do a 45 degree temperature change. That's pretty impressive. I don't
don't see any more drips. Whatever is leaking over here, it's really tiny. It's probably nothing to worry too much about. Or I'm not going to be able to do much about it anyways, so. But I can tighten that up a little bit and tighten that. Okay. I'll give you another update a little later. After tightening up those two pipes, I actually left this system alone for the whole rest of the winter. I didn't add any control box or anything else, or any low voltage wires or thermostats. I just operated it manually all winter and it worked just fine. I even left those leaks and they never leaked enough to cause any big issues. Thanks for watching.